I am here with Corey Keating from the Marketers Company, and I wanted to take advantage of his experience in the advisor space and kind of do something that I thought would be fun, which is 10 minutes of marketing. Thank you so much for being here.
Hey, look, I'm thrilled to be here. I'm grateful that you asked, and I'm happy to help, and I'm excited to chat. My name's Corey Keating. I founded Marketers Company about a year ago. What we do is work with small and medium-sized businesses to fulfill their marketing in totality.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and bring up the first question. What social media platforms should advisors be on, and should we make content specific to each one?
I would say that all is probably the best answer, but where I would focus and coach advisors to spend their time is LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok, probably in that order. And maybe I'd flip Facebook and LinkedIn. I think that LinkedIn is a terrific platform for the business to business community connecting. But I think the majority of, depending on what you see as your target audience, the majority of your target audience is probably found in the Facebook marketplace. So that's where I would spend the most of my time prospecting and sharing who I am, what I'm about, what my business is about, what value I bring to you, the consumer, the customer.
I like that. Let's talk about Facebook for a second. Do you still just share information and you just put out consistent, good quality content? Do you actually reach out to people through messages? How do you feel it's appropriate to reach out to people?
I'm a believer, and this is probably more on the marketing side than the sales side. I'm a believer of letting people come to you. And that comes from producing consistent, high quality, valuable content across all the platforms. So the second part of your question originally was, should we make content specific to each platform? The answer to that is yes. I do a much better job at putting out what I believe, what I feel, value that I think would help you, Ryan, in building your business, or value that I think would help whomever my target audience is in building their business, giving it to them for free, consistently on all the platforms. And over time, they come to you because you're the one who provides the value and showing up in the feed.
How much time do you think you should be spending marketing before you should be expecting people to come to you?
It's a lot of time, and it's variable, and you can't really measure it, right? It's going to happen when it's going to happen. It's going to click when it's going to click. And I'll tell you right now, I don't think it's what people want to hear, but it's longer than 90 days. It's 120, 150, 180 days. It's 6 months. It's a long time. It takes a while to build an audience that trusts you and looks to you for the content. And unfortunately, that's probably not what most people want to hear. And that's why they start hunting.
What is the best social media tactic to acquire clients?
Bang for your buck is going to be Facebook immediately. And that's just in the feed. Instagram's a little harder just because, one, the demographic's younger, and with a younger demographic comes people being much more attuned to filtering out some of the advertising or the noise within the feed. But Instagram's still powerful, and you're going to get a lot more reach with your dollar. LinkedIn is the most powerful in the feed, the advertising within the feed, but it's the most expensive. You're probably looking at, in the $6 to $8 a click range. If you you put the right message on Facebook and Instagram, you can get the same click rate at 70 cents to $1.25. Anyone trying to reach the 45 and up crowd, Facebook in the feed advertising, I think is the best place you can be. If you can afford it, I think LinkedIn is a good place to be. And if you're trying to reach the 45 and younger, 40 and younger, Instagram, but you have to be really good there.
Do you agree with making a business page for everything and kind of, like you said, creating that personality you are, that professionalism across each one?
Personally, I want to see that you're a human too. So if I stumble upon your personal Instagram, I think it's awesome to see you guys at the pool and, dragging around luggage through, the airport or whatever, all the crazy crap you put on Instagram. Like, that just shows me you're human and not a robot. If I see the same profile, the same picture, and the same boilerplate across all the platforms, I'm not learning a whole lot. I just know that you're there.
What is the importance of audio? And do you think everyone should have a podcast?
Importance of audio is ridiculous right now. I think it's only going to get more popular, and people are going to crave it more. And I think what we're going to see, I'm not the first person that said this, although I haven't heard anyone else say it, but I'm sure many have said it. There's going to be apps that allow us to digest audio with less friction, easy, and just delivered straight to us. And I think that's going to be the next platform, just like video took over, kind of the written word. So audio, I'm super bullish on audio. Do I think everyone should have a podcast? No, because I think a lot of people don't have a lot to say, but audio is huge. And so if you're not using it for a podcast, I think you need to be using it within your feeds, social feeds, within your digital content on your website. Some, 3 minutes, my thoughts on marketing, 3 minutes, click, right? Someone can play that while they're just doing their work. The reason I'm so bullish on it is it's the only medium that you can use and multitask with. And I'm doing two things at once, and I'm doing them at a very high level. I'm picking up everything that's coming into my ears, and I'm also very physically active handling everything that I'm doing. I mean, just think about exercise. You're hearing the music and you're doing the sit-ups. Like, you're able to do both. It's very difficult to watch something and then do something else at the same time. And that's why I'm huge on it.
Especially for somebody like me who's terrible at multitasking. It's the only type of multitasking I can do. I can't imagine anybody who has trouble listening to music and running at the same time.
Right.
You prefer silence, but you're not going to start tripping. Stemming off of that is there's things that I think are the most popular and places where people have to be. So what do you think about doing what you're good at versus doing what needs to be done?
So let me clarify. I don't think everybody needs a podcast because, one, I don't think everybody's probably very good at doing a podcast. I think every business worth their existence should try having a show and seeing where it gets them. I think every business has something to say and an audience that'll listen to it. Should everybody? No. Should every business that's worth being in business and wants to get out there and get their word out and grow an audience? Yes. What worked yesterday literally may not work tomorrow. And I think about that all the time. I've got my notes app open on my phone, several times a day, making notes to myself about things that I see people engaging with and the way they're engaging with it and the way that they're not engaging with something that they engaged with yesterday, just to make notes, because we are changing and we are interested in things at lightning speed and forgetting things at lightning speed. It's all about value, attention, authenticity. It's all those things about being human, and that's who wins right now.
What is the most important aspect of marketing to focus on? Consistency, quality, or quantity?
Consistency, quantity, quality. That's the order I'd put those in. Same message, bringing value that's authentic over and over and over and over and over is just a winning way to do it. I couldn't believe more in that. So the gap between, if I had to rank these, consistency, quality, and quantity, the gap between consistency and quantity versus quality is tremendous. I think especially some of the older guard would much rather get 5 minutes on CNBC, at 11:30 a.m. that everyone's not watching versus a, consistent on LinkedIn that gets 1,000, shares and everyone's seeing it. I've worked with so many clients that, when they want to do PR, they want to get involved in certain things. The first thing they want to do is try to get on the, the Bloombergs, the CNBCs, the different financial news shows. And one, that's really impossible for most to do unless you have, some of those ad buys and spends with those businesses to kind of get your way in there. That's very difficult to do. Two is, I think people discount the amount of reach that you can get just with a consistent message on all the other different marketing mediums that we have at our disposal today versus your one shot on CNBC or Bloomberg. Taking that shot is like the commercial that I'm going to fast forward through tonight when something's on my DVR. It's you just wasted everything on that commercial that I didn't watch. But if you had spent that same amount of money with 40 posts to get into my feed, eventually I'm going to see them. Speaking specifically to the audience and then tailoring it to them, are you 55 and up and live in this, we have this going on at this point in time. Here's why you should come. I'll be the one speaking, yada, yada, yada. Here's what we're about. I promise to make you laugh. Just being human in the feed could go a lot longer and a lot farther and be a lot cheaper than someone doing that through the silly postcards that come in the mail.
What is like a white paper or a value added, or what are you giving people?
It's just being consistent and providing value of who you are and why, people should be considering you and looking at you without asking them, to do something.
I appreciate your time. So again, thanks again, and I'll talk to you next time.
You got it. Anytime.